Welcome to Grit, the Real Estate Growth Mindset podcast, hosted by Brian Charlesworth, founder of Sisu. Sisu provides growth automation software for real estate. You'll hear stories from real estate thought and technology leaders, team owners, and brokers on how they grew their business in a rapidly changing industry. You'll learn how to transform your brokerage and teams into a high-performing and analytics-driven business so you have a new, durable, competitive advantage against disruption in your market. So let's get right into it.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Grit Podcast. I'm Brian Charlesworth. I'm the founder of Sisu and your host of the show. And super excited to be here today. I'm here with one of our Sisu customers who my team consistently tells me how amazing you are. So anyway, super grateful to be here with you today. It's fun for me to watch. I'm here today with everyone, just so you know who it is. It's Brian Buckley with the Location Real Estate out of Florida. I think, Brian, when you started with us a couple of years ago, you had maybe 8 to 10 agents, and I think you're approaching 30. Is that right?
Yes, we did. We onboarded like 2 years ago, and I would say I probably had 3 to 5, and we just onboarded number 35.
Okay, 3. So you had 3 to 5, and now you're at 35. So, one of the things I hear most, and it's super frustrating as a business owner, is when I get bigger, I'll get Sisu. And it's hard to say as this founder of Sisu, it's like, you're not going to get bigger if you don't get Sisu now. It's all about having the system in place that gets you there. So maybe we could talk about your journey there. And just since you've gotten Sisu, what kind of impact did that have on your business? And congratulations to you, because I know that in the last few months, you have done what every team leader's goal is, which is stepped out of production to work on your business instead of in your business. So I'm excited to dive into that as well. But let's go back in time to when you had 3 to 5 agents and what business looked like.
Yeah, so at that time I was funny, kind of year 1, my wife and I did fairly well. Year 2, I was like, hey, how do I run with the big dogs? And like my COO at Location, Jonathan Lickstein, was like, you need to start buying leads. So I did Zillow Premier, buying zip codes and just kind of grinding away and slowly building up. We had onboarded with Sisu. At the time, I was using...
So wait a minute. I need to back up. How long have you been in this business now?
4 years.
4 years in the business. You have 35 agents. You're out of production. That's amazing. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. It's why I got gray hair.
Did you have the gray hair before? Or is that just what you said?
I did. So my background was residential. I was a residential construction builder developer for many years, and probably 2008 is what gave me the gray hair. But we moved down to Florida and got back into the real estate side of things. And I just knew I wanted to build the team. I was very fortunate. The owner of Location Real Estate, a friend of mine, Nathan, and I was very fortunate that I had people to help me kind of get going. So I was like, we should start a team with all the knowledge we've learned, help newer agents kind of grow. I honestly, I kind of prefer newer agents to just kind of guide them along the way that we do things.
Yeah.
So yeah, but yeah, we've 5 years. It's been 5 years I've been living in Florida now.
Well, speaking about the way you do things, so I know you're very systematized and systematic in the way you do things since you have Sisu. I see it all the time, though, where sometimes it can be difficult to bring in an experienced agent and to try to get them to work the way you expect them to work. Whereas a new agent, you can train them to do everything through using your systems, your way. And sometimes that's easier. So that's not an uncommon thing, Brian. I hear that kind of stuff all the time. In fact, Spring was that way for the last 5 years. As of the last year, she's been bringing in more experienced agents. I think just because of where the market is. And experienced agents are wanting more than ever a team that they can go to where they can thrive and build a predictable income. I think that's a big part of a team, is having a predictable income. And a lot of experienced agents no longer have that right now without a team. So what if I'm an experienced agent and I come to you? Are you going to pass on me or are you going to take me?
No, I'm definitely going to take you. I always refer to myself as unique. I'm pretty blunt and straight up about how things kind of run and go. But I outline expectations. And I think with the experienced agents, yeah, I'd love to have them. It's welcome because most seasoned agents are a little more structured, like they get what they need to do. I'm not
Yeah.
sure why all agents don't apply. They already know what they need to do to be successful. So it's just like, wake up and do what you got to do to provide for yourself and your family and to be successful. But I also understand that that's not for everyone. And life is different journeys and stages. My kids are all grown. It's just my wife and I at the house. So real estate's kind of our new baby, if you will. So I spend a lot of time working on it and making sure that our team and our culture, I'm big on culture. Like everybody's got to blend here around the office. You have to be of the same mindset to help each other and support each other. We have, text messages, win of the day. So yeah, it's all kind of building culture, but I welcome experienced agents because they've kind of traveled the journey. They've seen the ups and downs of what real estate is and how to make it. But
Well,
also,
let's talk about culture for a minute.
yeah,
I think culture is a crucial part of any business. And there are a lot of our customers that come in and maybe they have 5 or 6 agents. They're like, I'd let all my agents go. They just weren't a fit for this new culture, meaning maybe the culture of accountability, right? The culture of production. What is the culture and how do you drive that culture forward? How do you make sure that culture is consistent in your business?
yeah. So I think, one is it's picking the right people. I tell people all the time that, hey, I might not be the fit for you. I won't allow a disease in my house. I'll throw you out, kind of quickly because at the end of the day, all we got to do is wake up, be kind, and get the job done. So if we support each other as a collective unit, we're much more likely to succeed. We should pat each other on the back on the wins. If you get rid of the ego, just because Susie Q, sold a 5 million, you shouldn't be upset. And ego maniac, you should support her. That hey, so our team is like that. Several of our agents have small children, so there's soccer games and stuff. I'm like, you should back that person up. I don't play that game of, well, I'll show it for you for $50. That's not culture. That's a disease. So for us, we all kind of pitch in and help. On the same note, I don't want anybody taking advantage of anybody. If you can't handle that lead, then you need to pass it on to somebody that can fit that needs the needs of that client. So it's a super supportive thing. We have a large text group. That phone is always dinging because somebody's, posting something, the win of the day, or, if somebody has a problem, I'm like, if I'm not available, put in the group, somebody will answer your question for you. So we're very fortunate that we have a really supportive team. I mean, my team, it's not all localized. I stretch from the Keys up to West Palm Beach and the Keys up to Sarasota area. So it's a 3 or 4 hour drive one way or the other. So the team's kind of spread out, but yeah, they all mesh well together.
Let's talk about recruiting for a minute. You came into this business less than 5 years ago. You already are at 35 agents. I know people who've been in the business for decades that don't have 35 agents. What do you do to attract and recruit and retain those agents?
A lot of it's been probably the last 2 years. We've been one of the top teams at our brokerage month after month. I'm also super involved in our brokerage's Facebook group. I'm always the first one to kind of help out, or at least try to be the one to help out and give information. I hear people, why do you tell everybody everything you do? And I'm like, because I just don't think you'll outwork me. And if I can add some value to make our brokerage as a whole look better, I mean, why not? I've gotten to where I'm at right now because of people that I've met, either through Battr or Sisu or, follow up boss or some that you just collaborate with. And I mean, some of the stuff's a secret sauce, but why not just help somebody?
Yeah. I think this industry is really good that way. In fact, the first time I met you was at a Sisu behind the scenes event, behind the scenes of a real estate machine. You came out, got to see behind the scenes of Spring's business. And I think without a doubt, when we give, it comes back tenfold, right? So why not give? And like you said, are they going to outwork you? Usually not, right?
They're not, or they won't implement,
Yeah.
We've all been to that convention or that seminar and gone, oh, I'm going to do that. And then you get home and then you're like, what was that I was going to do? And I see that a lot in real estate. And
That is exactly why we take the entire last afternoon of Sisu behind the scenes, and it's all about implementation. We fly our whole team in to help you implement what you've learned in that business before you leave, because you're right. Once you leave, you usually don't implement, right?
correct.
Yeah. Cool. Congratulations on something else. Well, let's talk about this. You recently became a Zillow Flex team
Yes.
and simultaneously recently stepped out of production. Two things that I think a lot of team leaders aspire to, but I think all team leaders aspire to actually stepping out of production. Now, you've done a lot of things that I think many haven't. One of the things I've seen, which has helped a lot of our teams tremendously, we actually formed a separate company around this, is Simply Mortgage, to help our teams have their own mortgage business. Now, you already saw that. You have your own mortgage business. You have your own title business, I believe. So let's talk about I think from the beginning, you coming in as a business owner, even though you've been in production, you seem to have worked on your business much more than most. Really, like putting the systems in place, putting the sister companies in place, all the stuff. How did that all come about?
So I think it boils down to like user experience. Like, what is the buyer or seller? How do they benefit? So for me, all the steps. So we have the in-house transaction coordinators who make the introduction to the insurance company that we use, make the introduction to the moving company we use. We use the concierge utility service through, Sisu's integration. So it's like the easier I can make it for somebody going through one of the most stressful experiences of their life, buying a home, if I can make that seamless and fun, then we're winning. And also, if I can control mortgage, I can control title, I can control all the outside things that make a deal blow up, I got a lot higher chances of getting that thing across the finish line. And
Yeah. It's such a great perspective. I think most people think of, if I'm going to build a mortgage or title company, I'm thinking about the money. But the right approach is, if you think about, I want to provide a better end-to-end experience and control that experience all the way through for the consumer, now you can guarantee a great experience versus relying on somebody else that you hope will provide a great experience. Is that more your mindset?
100%, because kind of goes back to that commission breath quote too, that if you get rid of commission breath and you just focus on the relationship, that around my office I refer to everything like dating. So it's like, act to the customer the same way you would act as if you were going out on your first date. You're not gonna, so tell me about this, tell me about that, tell me that, just relax, get to know the person, understand the wants and the needs, and make that thing seamless for them. It's not rocket science. All too often I see these agents that, well, what am I getting paid? I'm like, well, first of all, you've lost just for the fact that you asked, what are you getting paid? I think one of the nice things with Sisu is I can see our average GCI is like 2.93, I think I saw today. So, we're making a nice commission on the value that we give the client. And I think if you'll focus on what value you can give anybody in anything you do, that the money just comes back. I won't say easily, but it comes back the appropriate way. Versus if you're grinding just to make a buck, then you're just like everybody else. You're nothing unique. You're nothing special.
Yeah, for sure. So controlling that experience, I think, is key. You talked about you started buying leads back in the day. You've now gotten to a point where Zillow has said, "Hey, come be a flex team." Let's talk about that and what that has done for your business.
So that was an interesting jolt we onboarded in December. I wasn't using Follow Up Boss. So of course I had to learn Follow Up Boss, integrate Sisu, integrate all these new things, and then become super proficient at them.
So you had to move in order to become a flex team. You had to move to Follow Up Boss. Thankfully, Sisu has a great integration with FUB, made it easier. But so you're now on Follow Up Boss. So that's been a transition for you as of late.
Correct. And then just, and it's funny, you've heard this as well before. It's the metrics, the accountability that you are to Zillow, for which I like. At least I know the rules of the game. It's kind of like your buddies calling you going, hey, man, let's play a game. I'll meet you at the field tomorrow at 2.
Yeah.
You show up with a baseball bat and they have a helmet and pads on. At least with Flex, I know the rules. I can dial it in and set those parameters with Sisu. The best thing I ever did was put the TVs on like behind you all throughout my office. So people walk in and it's kind of a friendly competition. It's like, I said to one, well, look, you make 0 phone calls. All you got to do is make 1 this week and you're winning. You beat last week. You just got to make 1 phone call and you've improved.
How embarrassing is that for an agent? I mean, but yet you being able to say that with a smile on your face is like, hey, it's up to you, right? It's up to you.
That's what I tell them. I was like, hey, look, we're all adults here. We're all the entrepreneurial mindset. We wanted to be a realtor. We wanted to work for ourselves. We wanted to do our things. I also view, getting back to teams, I don't view everybody as my team member. I tell them all we're partners. My job is technology and leads. Your job is closing deals and building our brand forward facing. So we do, the weekly accountability. What's your numbers look like? What's your P&L, if you will, look like? I do a kind of a low P&L with my partners. So I think it also creates a different type of ownership. So when I do have to have those challenging conversations, it's like, hey, man, we're partners, Brian. I'm doing my part, right? I've delivered you leads, you flex, you've got X. Why is it taking you 15 minutes to make a phone call after I live transfer you? You're failing our partnership, man, because I just think it helps everybody own what they do better. And it is true.
It's a great approach. I love it. Because they really are business partners, right? I mean,
They are.
I've trained a lot of team leaders to just help them get to that next level. And I always tell them the same thing. You're teaching these people how to be business owners. And that's how Sisu helps you. You're helping them become a business owner because they can now manage their own business. They can hold themselves accountable. If you have them report one-on-ones out to you, now you're a coach, they're a business owner instead of the other way around. So you've been working with Zach on Battr. So Battr is Sisu's new product. Battr is all around lead conversion. And, you talked about Zillow and you said, at least I know the parameters. One of the reasons we started Battr is we've been watching this industry for years. And what I've seen is over and over and over again, people say they get better conversion on Flex. And I was like, well, it's obvious. Do you know why? It's like, yeah, because you're holding those agents accountable to those leads. The other leads you're giving them, you don't have any standards in place. You don't have any follow-up. Now with Battr, you can have those standards in place. You can make sure they have the follow-up. And what that is going to do, I already know, it's already doing it, is driving better conversion on all your lead sources that you're managing in that fashion. So how long have you been on Battr now, Brian?
If you've been enjoying Grit, please help us continue to grow the channel by leaving a 5-star review and sharing it with a friend. Now back to Grit.
So, I guess I've been through the whole development 3 or 4 months, but I guess when did we go live? A month ago?
Okay, so about a month. So
yeah,
let's talk about what kind of impact that is having on your business, or you see that having on your business.
Yeah, so we've noticed a big shift.
I want to hear. That's a big smile.
Yeah, no,
big smile. Like there's something going on there with the agents. Let's talk about that.
So we keep increasing our sales every single month, and we went live with the nudges. So I also preference Battr is not like a babysitter tool or something to be negative, which sometimes agents will do. They'll spin things. Oh, I don't like all these text messages. But I'm like, listen, as a high producing partner, I'm giving you all the tools to help you make sure that we don't miss that opportunity to get a sale. So instead of me calling you and texting you, we have an automated system through Battr that these are the goals, the parameters from our smart list that are just going to send you a notification to let you know, hey, Brian, in case you forgot, this is what happened. It doesn't look like you've taken action. So for me, I come in early in the morning. One of my ISAs gives me a report that says, hey, this is what's going on. And I had a call with Zach on Monday, and he's just like, wow, your numbers have changed significantly. And it's truly helped, because even though you have smart lists and you have the reports and FUB and all that, you still have to manually look at all those. Well, with Battr, you don't have to do that. It's there. And one of the TVs has our health report up in there, and we've seen it go from red to red. And I'm like, all right on, guys. We should support this win. This is a big win for us, because, and I think one of the things is coming from production and understanding. It wasn't too long ago, I remember writing a contract on a Friday night, and I forgot to submit it to the seller, to the listing agent. I just forgot. I make no and I even told the team, hey, I make no bones about it. I screwed up last night. I wrote an offer, signed off, and I forgot to send it to the listing agent. So at least now we have all these tools in place and stuff to make your job more efficient, because you get 10, 12 people looking for a home. You'll forget quickly. You'll lie to yourself and tell you, oh, I won't forget. You will.
It's none of us are great at multitasking as much as we may say we want to be, but it's a difficult thing to do, which is really why a team exists, so that agents can focus on selling and you can do the rest for them. So it sounds like that's really doing the job of I'll call it a leads manager for you. And it sounds like you were doing that job before, so now you have more time to do other stuff, and it's doing a more effective job than you, probably because it's focused on it, automated, real time, all the time, right?
Correct. And, I made the joke that I felt like this last month, July, I got my life back. That I felt like what I've been grinding at for the last 4 years, Sisu, trying to get flex, all those things dialed in and twisted in, that I was actually like, I think I'm going to the beach today on a Saturday, which is not something that has happened over the last 4 years. And, if you want to get to that level, unfortunately, you got to pay the dues. You're going to pay the dues one way or the other. And to kind of, go back about, you made the comment, somebody else told me that, a larger team, well, you don't need Sisu right now. Yeah. And I said, well, I may not need it right now, but where I'm heading, I definitely need it. So I might as well implement it now. So just get it done. I same thing. I was using another platform, a CRM. That's too expensive. You shouldn't be using that. And I'm like, but I don't want to be 2 agents. I want to be 20, 30, 40. And that's what this CRM will allow me to do. So I think that's one of those things. I think it's great to listen to others and hear the journey that they've traveled. But if you're an entrepreneur, you should be listening to that gut and figuring out, hey, sometimes you got to be uncomfortable to get comfortable, and both financially, sleep deprivation, all those things. You just got to figure out what the threshold is for you and where you're trying to go.
Yeah, I mean, even with Sisu, I think people look at expenses, whether it's Sisu, Battr, Follow Up Boss, whatever. People look at expenses, and their mindset's pretty small. And what I've learned is, I think the best example is Spring had 3 transaction coordinators when she was doing 150 transactions a year. Now, because I built Sisu and because she has that, she is doing 750 plus transactions a year with 1 transaction coordinator and a couple of VAs, which is more expensive. Our biggest cost as entrepreneurs, and I know this, is salaries.
Yep.
That's our biggest expense. So if you can eliminate some of those expenses by having software and get better results, why would you not do that, right? And I think what you just explained with Battr, it's the exact same thing. You're getting better results, fewer expenses, saving you time, and you're on the beach now, which is beautiful. Congratulations.
Because the cost of X, it has a return. You just have to figure out what that return is, and is it exponentially, going to help you grow your business? And for me, the answer has been yes. With Flex and hearing all the other people, I'm like, all right, we got to dial this in on every single direction. We can't let anything fall through the cracks. And I think I have 4 agents. Their close rate is over 12%. And the only way I would know that is from some of the stats I get from the platforms.
Yeah. And those who aren't, you can coach so that you can, because it's possible. You can get them to that because where their breakdowns are, right?
Correct. And without that, there was one I went last week and I did some showings with her. And I was like, your numbers are way off compared to everybody else. And I said, come on, I'm going to go with you. I want to see what's happening. I said, you should look at this as a good thing. It's not a bad thing. You're not in trouble. I want to help you fix whatever it was. And when you got the car, I said, man, you need to learn how to be quiet. My God, you just vomited questions all over everybody. Nobody could breathe in that room because, you were talking so much. And guess what? The very next day, she was like, I tried your way. It worked. It's awesome. They told me everything. And I said, well, that's what happens when you allow people to answer you.
This is the thing. I've seen this with team owners that don't have Sisu, don't have a software to run this way. You can have an agent that goes on showings every day, and they might be working their ass off, honestly, right? But if you don't know that they're having all these showings and they're not getting anything under contract, you don't know there's a breakdown. You might think they're lazy, but they're really not lazy. You just haven't trained them how to do that. And that's exactly what you just did, is you trained them they had this thing from showings to under contract or showings to offers, whatever it is.
Right.
There's a massive breakdown there, right? And the reason that you were able to get through that is because you saw the data and you actually said, let me just go with you so I can show you how this is done, right?
No, and that's it. Because I was like, I looked at the numbers like, yeah, there's something off here. And, you hear it all the time. Oh, the leads are no good. No, are they no good? Or are you just not asking the right questions? I'm going to put money on that you're not asking the right questions or you're not listening. It's one of the two. Are there leads that aren't as of high quality? Yeah, of course there are. But I showed all the time. I closed $1 million deal. Well, I say me, my wife closed $1 million deal. For 3 years, I've been touching this guy. Hey, how you doing? Every time I see him, and that's it. And I tell people, when you forget about that guy that says, yeah, I'm not buying right now, and you just go, oh, okay, set him aside, you're screwing yourself for down the pipeline. I mean, we're in this business for growth. So I'm not stopping next month or next week or next Louis Vuitton or next car this, car that. It's a long funnel. So guess what? Oh, this one, I'm going to put him over here. He's Mr. 2 years. Well, when 2 years comes, you're going to laugh and go, I'm glad I held on to Mr. 2 year because it was a paycheck. And you have to do that with your entire database. We segment our database. If it's a credit issue, guess what? Stop sending them homes and send them things of value about credit or repair that. Or if they don't understand mortgage, stop sending homes. Send them information on mortgages or how they do this. How do we get them into a home? Stop vomiting the home to them. It is what I think, sometimes the mindset needs to be.
So we actually need to understand people's needs, is what you're saying, instead of, I think most people treat everyone the same, right? You can't treat everyone the same. They're different. They're in different situations, different scenarios, different places in life. They want different things. So know their needs and serve those needs, right?
Right. You're not trying to sell hamburgers to a vegetarian.
Yeah. Well, again, Brian, I wanted to do this with you today because it's super impressive that in less than 5 years, you've done what you've done with your business. You now have a team of 35 agents. How many homes are you going to sell this year? Do you know?
I don't know. So we keep ramping up. We're only doing roughly 20 a month right now. I think we'll do 25 this month.
Okay.
And I say only. Listen, I'm super humbled by the number. I'm super humbled about everything that we have going around us. My goal, ideally, I would like to do 50, 60 homes a month in 2026.
Okay, so the
That
goal
would
is
be
50 to 60 a month in 2026, which is a great goal. I have no doubt you'll hit it. So I'd love to get your thoughts. Just last question before I actually go into a personal thing with you.
okay.
I'd love to get your thoughts on just like what is something in the market we're in today. I know so many people blame things on the market. Like in the market we're in today, like what is the one piece of advice that you would give to other team leaders to just help them have that consistent growth like you've had?
Yeah. So I think there's two things. One is like real estate is no longer, oh, this is the new norm. Here it is. I perfected it. Now let me grab my pillow and go to sleep. It's like, what is it? How do I optimize it? What's on the horizon? What's coming next? And then I think you need to understand how to beat out other agents or things in the market. For us, we're heavy on leveraging concessions these days from the mortgage. We're leveraging the concession to buy down the rate or help keep that cash in the buyer's pocket, but also showing them that, hey, it's okay to offer full price and ask for concessions because in the dip, you're actually buying down your rate, or like I said, you don't want to put that cash out to close. So I think you have to find ways that others aren't doing. And I think that's what we've done is we do a really good job of maximizing concessions for the win.
So essentially, leverage other people's money to get the people the cash so they can close on a home without having to go out of pocket.
Yeah. Or, that 6.5 or whatever rate that you don't like, do a 2-1 buy down. And, in the next 2 years, that rate should drop. That's what, the mindset is. It'll drop and then just refinance.
Yeah. Yeah. Love it. Okay. On a personal note, I understand you're a snow skier.
Yes.
Let's talk about that. What are your other hobbies? But let's talk about snow skiing. How are you a snow skier when you live in Florida?
Yeah. So my father lived in Lake Tahoe. My father passed away 2 years ago, but he had a home in Lake Tahoe in Incline Village, probably 35 years or so. So we picked somewhere. I either go points north, heli skiing up in Cordova, Alaska, or Niseko, Japan's another hot spot.
You've skied in Japan?
Yeah,
Oh,
Japan.
wow.
Japan is a great. You've never seen so much snow. All that snow coming off of Siberia. It's like, okay, does it ever stop snowing here?
Wow.
So yes.
But that's a different time of year, right? That's actually summer here is winter there, right?
So South America is summer here. The winters are the same in Japan.
In Japan, it's the same. Okay.
The same, yep. South America is summertime, so Chile is the spot to be, skiing now. But yeah, I love skiing. My father took my brother and I skiing when we were kids, and it just never stopped. Never stopped.
Have you ever skied the Utah Mountains?
I have. So I have a good friend in Ogden who,
So you've been up to Snow Basin.
yes, and I've been was Deer Park, and so yeah, there was a time period that I drove my Jeep across country, 3 years in a row, and I just worked my way around. I'd go to I lived in Atlanta at the time, but I go Colorado, then I go Taos in New Mexico, and shoot up to Utah. So yeah,
Very cool.
I've
Well,
been-
if you ever want to come to Utah and have a mountain guide, I'm your guy.
I'm in.
And if you're ever looking for someone to go hit a heli tour with you, I'm also your guy. So
I'm in. And like I said, I met a really good friend who he owns several bars up in Ogden. I met him in Alaska. So you meet some interesting characters hella skiing.
my next door neighbors here go to Alaska every year on a heli trip and absolutely love it. In fact, they gave me all the details last year, said you need to do this, same people, we've done them all, this is the best. So
I mean, it's something magical to be eating lunch on a glacier with nobody around for miles. That helicopter come in and pick you up.
yeah, amazing.
It's
Good. Well, Brian, again, congrats on all of your success. Great getting to know you here. I got to know you a little bit when you came to our previous event, and thank you for all the wonderful things you say about our team. And you and the support you give to our team. I know they say wonderful things about you. So we're grateful to be able to work with you. And let me know if you want to join us again September 8th through 10th. Reach out to me if you decide you can make that. I would love to have you, your wife, your daughter out here.
100%.
Okay.
You can count on that. We'll be there.
Okay, sounds good. Everybody, thank you for listening to another episode of the Grit Podcast. Again, one of the things you'll see is, why is this the Grit Podcast? I think it's all about grit. I mean, anybody can go in and be successful, but are you going to do the things you need to do to be successful? The people who are on this podcast do the things they need to do to be successful. They're fully committed. And if you look at Brian here, less than 5 years in the business, he's out of production, has 35 agents, and he's going to do 500 homes next year, 500 to 600 homes next year, 50 to 60 homes a month. So that's what we're talking about here. That's what it's about. It's all about your success. It's about grit, and it's about having fun. So thanks, everybody. We'll see you next week.
Thank you for joining us on our podcast. If you have an interest in a free 7-day trial of Sisu, go to sisu.co, sisu.co. Make sure that you use the coupon code GRIT, that's GRIT, to waive all your setup fees and receive a 10% discount on your subscription. If you enjoyed listening to this podcast and want to subscribe, search GRIT, the Real Estate Growth Mindset, on iTunes, Spotify, or Podbean. And with that, we'll catch you next time. Take care.